Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Working Trader, where we look at the EUR USD and GBPUSD to come up with trade ideas for the day, if there are any. So let's jump right into Forex Factory. And today is a Thursday, and we do have high impact news at 7 a.m. UK. That's for the pound, GDP, and then 1:30 we do have core retail sales for the USD. So let's look at the charts. Okay, so starting with the EUR USD, like we said yesterday, narrative hasn't changed much. We're bearish swing, so what we know is direction is bearish. Internally, we shifted bullish, came into this area, we had a sweep, and then we had a reaction, and now price is simply moving sideways within that range. For the pound, direction is bullish, but we've had a strong pullback right into discount, almost to the extreme, and then we've had an internal switch bullish, and internally we are bullish, although there's a tight range as well. Okay, so looking at the 4 hour, so let's jump onto the EUR USD, and then let's go to the 4 hour. So we know that the swing is bearish. This is my swing range, and then internally we are bullish, and then price was pretty much stuck in this range. It's still stuck in that range. Okay, so let's look at that. Okay, so internally we are bullish. Okay, internally overall we are bullish. Okay, however, if we're looking at structure within, okay, we shifted bearish for a time. Okay, and then we've shifted bullish again, making high highs, and now this is the range that we're in. Okay, this is the current range that we're in, and so within that range, from this high to this low, okay, because this is a higher low that made a higher high, so within this range, price has come into the extreme. Okay, mitigated it, and yeah, we've had a bit of a reaction. Okay, so this is where price is. So from this time frame, there's not much we can deduce. So let's go into the 15-minute. Let's go on into the 15 minutes. So of course, as of yesterday, I was saying that there's not much to look forward to, except we may expect price to just keep on going lower. Okay, obviously the expectation is that once it takes out either this level of liquidity or this low, we might have a reaction up. Okay, so that's what we ended up having eventually. We didn't reach these relative equal lows, so the expectation is still possibly that price will continue to the downside. So before we get to those conclusions, let's just look at the swing range. So swing range, this is our swing range. Okay, this is our weak swing high, this is our strong swing low. We've had pullback, we got into I could say equilibrium, a bit of discount, because when you look at our fib, okay, look at our fib from there to there, so we did get into discount. Okay, so this low was in discount, and then within this range, this was the decision which led to the break of structure. So we did have a significant reaction from there. However, it failed to then result in a break of structure to make a new high. Okay, so we did break structure, of course, internally, but we failed to make a higher high on the swing leg. So what that would mean is, of course, we had these relative equal highs, so that would mean when price comes back, then there was a high likelihood that then this would fail because it failed to do its job. So we had a break of structure right there, and then now we have the follow through. Okay, so internal has shifted from bullish to bearish. So this is my internal, so I'm just gonna mark it internal break, and I'm just gonna remove these, that liquidity area, and that one. So right now the one that's left is this low. Okay, so this is what we have, and then I still have an area of liquidity up there at the top, and then this is my swing, and I still have another old area of liquidity as well. So alright, so internal has shifted bearish. Okay, so now we have swing on the 15-minute, bullish, internal, bearish. So what could happen? So we do have New York low, London low, Asia low. Okay, so this is could mark it like that. Okay, so that's definitely trend line liquidity resting right there. So now the expectation is that price might just continue fall through, you know, take out this all of these areas to the downside. Okay, so that's the expectation now, that we may continue to the downside and take out everything. So we do have those retail sales in the afternoon. That will be the Hyperc news, and then as of now, within 30 minutes from this time where I'm recording, we'll have the GDP Hyperc news for the pound. Okay, so yesterday price didn't come back, and it just had a straight push to the downside. Yeah, what do we have? Is that a clear trend line? Okay, we could argue it is. Okay, so that's what we have. Okay, so we do have a trend line right there. So price is bearish. Okay, so I'm expecting a continuation to the downside. So what do I see? So we did have a sweep of this, or should we say it's actually a break of structure sub-internal to the upside. Okay, so we've had price come down, right, make this low, and then it had a bit of a retracement, made it higher, made a higher low, made a higher low, higher high. So right now what we have is price pushing to the upside. So and then we've had a retracement as of now. Okay, so another possibility is this could be, let's see, okay, and that could be another trend line right there that's ready to be taken. Okay, so we have these lows that are relatively close to each other. Okay, so we do have all these lows to target. So my bias is still bearish, is now bearish, because internally we've shifted bearish. Okay, it is possible, of course, that price could mitigate the extreme and then switch bullish still respecting this strong 15-minute swing low. However, because of all the relative equal lows, New York low, London low, Asia low, they are all relatively close together. So I would suspect that, well, I would anticipate that price will continue to come down, take this out, and then only after we have a reaction. Okay, so my bias is bearish. That's what I'll be looking at, and it's now a question of whether price will just fall through immediately or to come up, check out the Asia high. What else could happen? Check out the Asia high. Okay, we do have a level of imbalance right there. Everything else is filled. So move high, low. Let's see. Okay. So I could expect that to be filled, and then okay, so I don't have anything clearly, so I'm just gonna mark this area right there. Okay, simply because we have this imbalance, and then of course we had this push up and then break. Okay, so I'm just gonna mark this area. That's all I'm going to mark. Whether price comes up to that area or not remains to be seen. Whether it will actually hold as well, we don't know. But my expectation is that price will continue bearish. Okay, price will continue bearish, so it could come up, sweep these areas, right? Possibly maybe fill this imbalance, and then continue to the downside, where we could then look. Obviously, easy targets would be 321, and then anything beyond that is a bonus. Okay. So that's what I'm looking at, essentially. Price coming down at least to these lows. Okay, minimum, and then likely to take out this low as well. Okay, so that's my bias for the Euro USD. So let's look at the pound. Let's start on the 4H. So on the 4H, this was our break. This pullback, not yet considering it a swing pullback. So my swing leg is still all the way from down there. Then this is just a minor pullback, and then we have this push up. Okay, so my expectation is that price will eventually come all the way down, probably mitigate or fill these areas before continuing to the upside, if it's going to continue with the bullish trend. Okay, because this is my swing range. This is my swing range. But as of now, I'm focusing on this internal range. Okay, this internal range. And this is where we are. We have relative equal lows, so that's definitely a target. That's definitely a target, and then we have more relative equal lows at the bottom, so that's also a target. Okay, and then of course price did come in, mitigate this area, had a reaction, pushed up, made a high. Okay, and then now we've had the strong push to the downside, and then we've had a slowdown. Okay, when we mitigated this area, I had a slight push up. Okay, so let's look at the 15-minute. Let's see what the 15-minute is saying. So this is my swing. This is my swing range on the 15-minute. We have relative equal lows at the bottom. So my swing range, this was my break of structure to the upside. So my swing range is bullish, but internally we shifted bearish. And then yesterday, price did mitigate this area, which I was saying that we would probably have a sweep. Hopefully, I was expecting, ideally, I would have wanted this high to be swept, okay, before looking for shorts. But this zone at the extreme, it held, and then price pushed lower. Okay, and then since then, of course, we've been pushing lower. So we now have a new range. So this is a new internal high, and then we have internal low. So this is our range. Price has pulled up into this decisional. Okay, into that decisional where we've had break of structure. Let's see the range. Just gonna mark that, and then this is what we have. So we are in premium. Okay, we are in premium. So my expectation, because I was to buy up, to look for longs, I was expecting price to at least come in, mitigate or sweep this area as well. However, it only swept this one and then pushed up. So I'm looking at price continuing to the downside. And then what we have is, let's see, what we have is let's see, so we did have a sweep. So this is a relatively strong area because it had a sweep and then led to a break of structure and pushed price all the way to that top. And then what do we have? So price has come into the into the area and then pushed up. So let's see. Let's see. So price has come into the decisional. Okay, price has come into the decisional. So, and the decisional has held. Okay, so if I call that my high, my low, and then boom. Okay, so could cover the high. All right. So let me just do that, and then that will be the extreme. This one has already done its job. We do have relative equal highs. Okay, so that's what we have at the moment. So I'm just gonna mark my extreme. I'm just going to mark my extreme zone. Okay, so that's what we have. So price is already mitigated and price is now pushing to the downside. We do have areas of liquidity, relative equal lows. So definitely I'm targeting price to come down to that side. Okay, so strongly bearish. So the bias is bearish as well. Okay, the bias is bearish. So now it's a case of looking for anything that will allow me to jump to the downside. Okay, continued price to the downside. So we could have a minor sweep, you have some kind of reaction come into this, and then possibly look for shorts all the way down there. Okay, so my bias is bearish. Okay, so for both the pound dollar and the euro dollar, the bias is bearish. and it's now just to wait and see how price plays out and look for entries. Okay, so those are my trade ideas for the day and my analysis. So please, if you find value in this material, don't forget to like and to subscribe and to leave a comment letting me know how you will applying this in your own trading as well. Otherwise, have a great day, and Working Trader out.